Now before going the Waldeer's ring, this diagram, the dorsal surface of the tongue, this dorsal surface of tongue is differentiated from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue by presence of nodules, roughness. This roughness or nodules are due to the presence of the lymphoid tissue underneath the mucous membrane of the tongue, and this tonsil, it is the lingual tonsil because it is present on the tongue, in the tongue, while it is the palatine tonsils. Now comes on the Waldeer's ring. The Waldeer's ring, it is present at the beginning of the nasopharynx and the oropharynx. We have seen that the lymphoid tissue are collected underneath the mucous membrane of the nasopharynx or the oropharynx. This is the example. These lymphoid tissue are collected and they form a ring. This ring is known as the Waldeer's ring. It is present at the commencement of the nasopharynx as well as the oropharynx. This ring forms the defensive system of the respiratory tract, that is the nasopharynx, and the alimentary tract, that is the part of the oropharynx. And this Waldeer's ring, if you see the posteriorly, this is it is present at the junction of the roof and the posterior wall of the nasopharynx. This is the pharyngeal tonsil. This is the pharyngeal tonsil, which forms the upper boundary of this ring. It is the pharyngeal tonsil. Now the inferiorly, it is the lingual tonsil. This is the lingual tonsil that forms the inferior boundary of this Waldeer's ring. So it is the posteriorly by the pharyngeal tonsils, inferiorly by this lingual tonsil. Tongue is present. Now this is the lateral. Laterally they are the superior and the inferior. Superiorly it is the TT. This TT, it is the tuval tonsil. Tuval tonsil that is present posterior superior to the tuval opening, and the inferiorly it is the palatine tonsils. This PT represents the palatine tonsil. So if you complete this circle, a circle is formed. Both have completed, a circle is formed, and this ring is known as the Waldeer's ring. It has the lymphoid collection, so it has a defensive role in the respiratory as well as the alimentary tract. And the lymph nodes, these are the lymph nodes that participate in the formation of this Waldeer's ring. Now the laryngopharynx. The laryngopharynx, it is the lower part of the pharynx, so it is also known as the hypopharynx. Hypopharynx. Nasopharynx, it is the epipharynx. This laryngopharynx situated behind the larynx. Before going the laryngopharynx, larynx has unpaired and the paired cartilage. They are three in numbers. Unpaired, it is the E, epiglottis. Then T represents the thyroid cartilage, and C, it is the cricoid cartilage. Epiglottis, thyroid, and the cricoid cartilage, out of which the cricoid cartilage forms the complete circle of the larynx. Now the paired cartilage, it is the arytenoid, corniculate, and the cuneiform. These structures, these are the cartilage of the larynx. For example, this is the epiglottis. In front, it is the thyroid. Below thyroid, it is the cricoid. Cricoid is the complete circle. It is the anterior. This is the posterior lamina. Posterior is the broad. Above the corniculate, above the cricoid, it is the corniculate, then arytenoid, corniculate, and the cuneiform. Above this cricoid cartilage, this is the arytenoid cartilage A, and above it, it is the corniculate and the cuneiform. So these structures are present in front of the laryngopharynx. You see the posterior wall. This is the posterior wall, supported by the third, fourth, fifth, sixth cervical vertebra, intervertebral discs, and corresponding retropharyngeal space. While the anterior wall, this is the anterior wall, is the deficient, and this deficiency, this opening, it is the laryngeal inlet. It is the laryngeal inlet. The laryngeal inlet, it is obliquely placed. It slopes backwards and the downwards, and this, through this opening that is known as the laryngeal inlet, this laryngopharynx communicates with the larynx. At the time of the swallowing, food has to go in this laryngopharynx. So this laryngeal inlet is closed and prevent the entry of the food or the foreign material into the larynx. This is the importance of the laryngeal inlet. Now, lateral wall. On each side of the lateral wall of the laryngopharynx, there is a structure, fossa. This fossa is known as the piriform fossa, and it is situated on the side of the laryngeal inlet. On the both sides of the laryngeal inlet, there are two fossa. That is the piriform fossa. It is the feature of the lateral wall of the laryngopharynx. Inferiorly, this laryngopharynx is continuous with the esophagus. So, this laryngopharynx communicates superiorly with the oropharynx, inferiorly with the esophagus. In front, it is the larynx through the laryngeal inlet. Now the laryngeal inlet and the piriform fossa. These are the two special features of the laryngopharynx. In this diagram, it is the epiglottis, situated anteriorly obliquely. It is the cricoid cartilage. It is the posterior aspect. This is the cricoid cartilage. On the cricoid cartilage, it is the two arytenoid cartilage rest. This arytenoid cartilage, they are the pair and they are connected. This is known as the interarytenoid fold. Now, epiglottis is connected with this arytenoid by this fold. It is the airy epiglottic folds. These are present on the two sides. So, if you see the boundary of the laryngeal inlet, it will come in the larynx also. Anteriorly, it is bounded by the epiglottis. This is the anteriorly. This laryngeal inlet is bounded by the epiglottis. Posteriorly, it is bounded by the interarytenoid fold. Interarytenoid fold, it has the muscles and this fold connecting the two arytenoid cartilages, and the fold is known as the interarytenoid fold. Now the laterally, this laryngeal inlet is bounded by this fold, and this fold is known as the airy epiglottic fold. Why airy epiglottic? Because this connect the epiglottis with the arytenoid cartilage. So it is the airy epiglottic fold. And this opening is the laryngeal inlet through which air enters into the larynx. It is situated in front of the laryngopharynx. Now, piriform fossa. In this diagram, this is the coronal section. This is the laryngeal cavity. It is the larynx. It is the laryngeal inlet through which we enters the larynx. It is the larynx. On each side of the laryngeal inlet, this region, it is the pyriform fossa. So, this pyriform fossa present on the both sides of the laryngeal inlet, and this is formed. This is formed due to the bulging of the larynx into the laryngopharynx. These fossa are created. Now, if you see this fossa, this one, it is the medial boundary and it is the lateral boundary. This is the base. It is wide above, narrow below. Medially, it is bounded by, this is the airy epiglottic fold. If you see here, if you imagine this region is the pyriform fossa. This is the position of the pyriform fossa.